Nobody talks about this part. Starting over at 50 isn't inspiring. It's financially terrifying. And if you don't run the numbers first, it can wreck you. Because I remember sitting down at the table, running the numbers, the monthly burn rate, and realizing the runway was very short with everything I had saved and the expenses that were leaving at that time. That's when things get real in a big way, really fast. So you have to figure out what you're going to do. How are you going to pivot and offset these costs? Even if it's by choice, not by choice, the downsizing needed to take place. Fortunate for me, my home was paid for. I worked very hard to do that. My motor home was paid for. And I didn't have a ton of reoccurring bills, but the savings was finite. It was going to run out. Does for everybody. When you think you have enough, you need to double that figure, if not triple it. Because all of a sudden, the things that reoccur quickly. What it turned out to be was a gap between income and obligation that scares people. And it happens. You aren't prepared for it unless you run the numbers. That gap is what kept me up at night. It wasn't the money itself that bothered me. It's what it represented. You had to pay your food bill. You had to pay for a phone. You had to pay for electric and gas. All these things add up. And when you start relying on income, that number burns off faster than when you had a residual income. Here's the hard truth about starting over. It's not that you're incapable. It's not that you don't have skills. It's that your nervous system remembers loss. If you built something before, lost money before, had problems before, starting over doesn't feel exciting. It feels very dangerous. It feels very uncertain. Because when you've paid real prices in life, your brain isn't chasing opportunities. It's scanning for threats and uncertainty. Financially unsafe doesn't always mean being broke. It can mean uncertainty. It can mean being exposed. It can also mean that the next step, you don't know if it's going to cost you more money or less money. Opportunities, because you can't afford large expenses. It can mean financially. It can mean emotionally. It can mean anything. I'm starting over because I walked away from a business that I had that was demanding so much out of me. I lost a mother, father, stepfather, 2 dogs in a 4-year period. Plus I was running a business full-time that demanded everything out of me. I sold it for a lot less than it was worth. I didn't have a choice. It was eating me up. I wasn't panicking, I wasn't emotional about it, but I knew something had to be done. So I decided to start downsizing my life, completely eliminating things out of it that I didn't need. Storage units, whatever I needed, I cut it down. That gave me a runway a little bit longer to decide what I'm gonna do. If you don't have a reoccurring income, a pass-through income, you need to make those changes. Starting over when you're young feels exciting, not when you're older. I think when you get above 40 and you have responsibilities and liabilities, it gets real very fast. The brutal honest truth about starting over is the risk and the reality that comes along with it. You end up being in a position that you're just not familiar with. So the unfamiliarity really makes things scary. People say that they're not scared of starting over. They're not telling you the truth. You can be as financially stable as you want to, but when things have to start over, reality sets in really quick. And I'm sure not pretending I don't feel the weight of it, because I do every day. The uncertainty is what scares a lot of people. Scared me. I'm scared. But you know what? All I can do is keep going. I ran the numbers. I did what I had to do, just like everybody else should. And you find a rate. And you find a way to make it work. I'm starting over because I chose to start over. Not because somebody put me here. Because I chose to. It's really the ability to survive change. And if you've survived this long and this much, you're stronger than you think. There'll be more videos to follow up on this, along with the RV stuff and Bella. But if any of this resonates with you, any of this hits home, or there's uncertainty in your life, leave a comment. I don't take it lightly. And if people are in this, everybody's in it together.